Let's investigate what real-time service means and where we can find some more information about it. First thing we know that real-time service is a part of Application Object Server. Application Object Server is one of the main components of Dynamics 365 Commerce HQ. I'm in IIS Manager now, and we can see that Application Object Server is one of the web services here. Where do we see the classes that Application Object Server uses? Remember, we were discussing that backoffice development is done in X++ language through Visual Studio. If I go to Visual Studio now, here I have something called Application Explorer. It contains a lot of metadata, including classes, services, forms, tables, and so on, that are used for HQ. One of the services I can see in Application Explorer is called Retail Real-Time Service. This is our service that Commerce Runtime is calling to communicate with HQ in real time. And here, under the service name, we have the service methods. We are mostly interested in invoke method and invoke extension method methods. As you also already remember, Commerce Runtime calls some of these methods with a real method name to call, like invoke method, create customer, invoke extension method, my custom method name. Every service inside Application Explorer is related to some class. For example, if I select the service here, go to the right in the properties, I can read that when service is called, the class Retail Real-Time Service Contract will be executed. I have found this class in Application Explorer, and let's have a look at the logic inside it. As we can see, every service method is represented by a class method. For example, let's find our invoke method. This is an invoke method that will be called by Commerce Runtime to execute some standard functionalities, for example, create or update the customer. We are jumping to invoke method helper that's executed inside the method. And if I scroll a bit down, the main thing I'm interested in is the line with retail real-time service wrapper make static call. What does the make static call does? Basically, it's a kind of using reflection saying that I want to execute the class with this name, where this name is the constant string, and with this method, the method name comes from our CRT, for example, and with these parameters also come from CRT, and then as an extra we specify which company or legal entity this request belongs to and which language should be used when executing the request. What does it mean for us? For us, this means that the main business logic will be located in this class. What is the class name? If I jump to the definition, the class name is Retail Transaction Service. Let's go to this class and check it. I have searched for my class in Application Explorer, and you can see that there are a lot of classes starting with Retail Transaction Service name. The main entry point is Retail Transaction Service. For example, you can see that this class has a lot of methods, and Commerce Runtime can call these methods by calling the real-time service and saying that, hey, I want, for example, to be a method of create customer order executed, and as input parameter, Commerce Runtime will send the order XML. Let's jump to this method. And then when we are in this method, you can see that in reality, it's like a wrapper, but all the logic is located in Retail Transaction Service Orders class. I am now in Retail Transaction Service Orders class in Create Customer Order method. We can see that this method is calling another method, Create Customer Order New. I will jump to it, and if you scroll down, you can see how big this method is. This is the method that's used by point of sale when it needs to create a customer order, request to purchase the goods for later. What does it mean for us as for developers when we need to extend Retail Transaction Service itself? This means that this will be a code written in X++ language by the rules of Dynamics 365 Commerce HQ development. All the rules we discussed for the channel database, for Commerce Runtime and so on, here they do not work. you will need to follow the best practices of the HQ development using the HQ development guidelines.